What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Today I'm going to be doing a quick lesson on how to play Spanish guitar. No real prior knowledge of guitar is required except for knowing a few chords, the E major, A minor, and D minor chord. And as far as which scale we're going to focus on today, I'll have that up on the screen here. So, if you're new to guitar, I would say a lot of acoustic guitar players mainly want to figure out how to get that Spanish guitar sound, exotic sounding guitar. Hold on. There we go. And a big part of that sound really is learning the harmonic minor scale. Welcome in. If you're just joining, I'll be doing a quick lesson on how to play Spanish guitar. Today we're not going to be going over any advanced flamenco or fingerstyle techniques. I'll be using a pick for everything today, and just showing you what shapes work best to get that Spanish guitar sound and the main scales that you want to focus on to play Spanish guitar. It also helps if you have something like a looper so that you can record yourself playing the chords to practice soloing and improvising in the Spanish or harmonic minor scales. So the first scale I'm going to show you is the A harmonic minor scale in the key of A minor. That would be the key of A major, or the relative minor of A minor. And the only difference in the harmonic minor, there's only one sharp, and it is the 5th degree of the scale, which is a G sharp, which makes the E turn into an E major within the key. Normally in the key of A minor, the E chord is minor. However, when we're playing in A harmonic minor, the E becomes major, which gives it that prominent sound. So the shape we're going to use for now is going to be very basic, just in one position, starting on the 5th fret of the low E string. And we'll start there and get comfortable in this shape. Keep in mind that basically every fret of the fretboard, every note of the scale has a different position you can play. So if you guys are a little more advanced, or you want to learn how to play the harmonic minor scale over the entire fretboard, my channel, I do have a full video on how to do that. But for today, I'm only going to focus on the very basics of what you need, the bare minimum, I would say, learning the harmonic minor through 2 octaves. So you'll see on the screen right there, this is the shape of the scale starting on the 5th fret. If you have a guitar, feel free to follow along with me. And obviously, the main thing is just to memorize the pattern first. Go slow and even, use a metronome if you need to. I always encourage using a metronome to keep your notes and your spacing even, and just go up and down through the scale until you can play it easily. This pattern we have goes up an additional fret, down. Now that's the basics of it. Now, as you get more confident with that scale, you can do groupings of 2s and 3s and 4s and additional things like skipping notes. So what I mean is, instead of going straight up and down, you could go something like this. Now basically all I'm doing there is I'm going up a note and then I'm going back a note before I advance. Now you can do that with as many notes as you want. You do like 1, 2, 3. Or if it's easier, you can just stick to single notes. Now, another thing that you'll often hear in Spanish guitar is tremolo, which is a note that is played rapidly. And with your fingers, you can do it, but this is not about the fingerstyle technique, but you've probably heard something like this played with your fingers. However, if you're going to solo and improvise with a pick, I will often just do a single note tremolo like this. And you can do that up this scale. It sounds very, very Spanish. Or maybe like Mediterranean. Now all I'm doing is going up and down the scale pattern that's on the screen here. And sometimes I will repeat notes. Or you can skip notes. Now, none of that sounds very musical, really, until you start introducing chords. Now, when you start introducing chords, since we're in the key of A minor, naturally we want to try to experiment with this in A minor. Now, here's the secret to making it sound like Spanish, Mediterranean style music is playing the A minor natural scale while you're on the A minor in any other chord, and only going to the harmonic minor scale when you play the E major chord. So, a quick refresher on the regular natural A minor scale. It's very similar to the scale we were just looking at, except instead of a G sharp, it's going to be a G natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate between this scale and the A harmonic minor scale. Put this down here. Hopefully we can see both. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple progression going back and forth between A minor and E major. And when I am on the A minor, I'm going to be using the A minor scale, which means the G I play is going to be G natural. However, when I go to the E, the scale I'm going to play is the A harmonic minor, which means the G is going to be a G sharp. And you'll kind of see how to vary those two to get that tone. So I'm going to make a simple loop starting with A minor to E major, and I'll improvise over that using the scales you see on the screen here. And if you're interested in working with me, I'll just throw it out there that I do teach, and I offer a free discovery call if you need some guidance with guitar. Also, if you do want a teacher, feel free to check my calendar. I do take students online through my calendar, which is updated on my website, meeshproductions.com/lessons. All right, so let's get into the first progression, A minor to E major. So let's try it. That's the start of it. It's knowing when to go to that G sharp. And also, I found that using a minor pentatonic also works well. As long as you resolve to that E major. Okay. So another chord you can work in there if you're getting tired of hearing those two chords together as you're practicing through these, is you can go to a D minor. So I'm going to start a new loop here. And we're going to go to that D minor so I can show you what I'm talking about. And again, this just gives you more to work with when you are soloing over this progression. And obviously feel free to use this as your backing track as well. Oh, it's just not ideal. Let's try that one again. And I do have a looper under the table here in case anyone's wondering how I'm looping on the fly. So there's a quick example of how to apply these two shapes. Again, the only difference between these two scales is the one note, the G, is either going to be natural in the natural harmonic, can't speak today, in the natural minor. In the harmonic minor, that G is going to be sharp. that should give you enough to get that started. Again, the chords you want to use when you're just starting to improvise over this progression: A minor works well, E or E7 works well, and going to D minor as a B section works really well too. Now, if anyone is here, doesn't currently follow or subscribe, please hit that button. I am live daily. I am starting to focus more on teaching than just musical lives, but I do a couple lives a week that involve just me playing music and creating original loops. The rest of the time I am teaching, and I create a lot of content relating to how to play guitar and what gear I recommend and use if you're looking for things like that. Anyway, this was going to be very short and sweet. If you want to catch the replay, it will be available on my YouTube channel. And I will be live again tomorrow around 11 a.m. And if you guys have any questions relating to guitar, please send me a message, leave a comment, or check out my website if you want to work with me at meeshproductions.com/lessons. With that being said, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all for popping in, and I will catch you on the next one. I hope this was helpful. Peace out.